day here. I'm about to show you this awesome ship that I finished probably a year ago. But this ship, this is my latest ship. It doesn't have a name. It's made with lots and lots of stuff.
Gonna go blow up the enemies.
Mm-hmm. That's what they do.
I love it. Candlesticks. How many candlesticks does this have?
My others have more.
Not very many, huh?
Candlesticks.
Yeah.
No, that is one. My other ones have candlesticks here instead of those.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
A
it's pretty,
necklace
isn't it?
piece.
Actually, they're earrings.
Oh, there's two
they're
of them.
Huge, and they came from Julie Hill, and Brooke probably wore them.
Oh, nice.
This is the most awesome thing in it, but I'll talk about that later. It's a little like aquarium. It's pretty awesome.
Cute.
I almost forgot about it. I
Did
haven't
you
looked at
make
this for a
it?
while. Yes.
You added all those teeny tiny things in
Yeah, I put everything in it.
there? Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It actually isn't glued down or anything, so we'll talk about this later. But it's looks like a little stereo box or something. I don't know what this box is.
It's so cute.
But this is one of those rings that goes on the curtains, curtain rod rings.
Right.
Yeah, and I went to the aquarium store and I got aquarium plants, but I'll show you that later because it's kind of a thing by itself. It's really awesome. All these pieces kind of go with it. You know, whoever gets this piece, I'll glue them in or not. So I start with a box, and I had to make it smaller. I had a wooden box, but it wasn't an enamel box. And so I had to cut it down because it was too big. Anyway, I cut down a box, and then I put a bottom on it.
Oh, so
Okay,
this was
yeah.
like a box went down further?
Yeah, that's what happened.
And you chopped it in half and then added a piece in the bottom?
Yes. I chopped it down and then I had to put a piece of wood in it. That's what I had. That's what I did. It was some kind of crate. And so I start with a box and then I start looking for things that look like a bow. And these are part of an organ. These pieces were part of an organ, the outer part, the ornate part of the organ. And this little round earring fit exactly on this curve, well, closed anyway. And so, and this is part of an organ too. It's this whole section. It starts back here and it has this little cut in it and it goes up here and it's the point and then that's the back part right there. So this whole section is one piece and it came from the part of an organ.
Oh, cool.
And this piece, I think it was a mirror. So these two actually came up like this.
And fit together.
Yeah, and fit together. And so I had this nice curve, which I needed a curve because the bow needs a curve. And then these are just some it's a little railing that I had. It was from a round piece, and I had to miter this so that they fit together just right on here with my miter saw. And this is a decorative like block and tackle kind of a thing, and I just took the bottom part off. I stuck that on there. And this was, I don't know what that was. And this was one, this went on an organ also to this point. And then I added these on the end, whatever they are. This was a little
napkin holder.
I think it's, no, the napkin holders are bigger than this. This is one of those, when you roll your foot on a foot massage thing, I think there are a bunch of these in a row, and that's just one of them. And I don't know what this is. But I have another one of these because they had two sitting on the, hold the spindles.
On the organ, right?
On the organ, yeah. It's old. And
is this from like a Lincoln Log type of toy?
It's a Tinker
Tinker
toy. Yeah. But all of this is a Tinker toy right here. And this is the middle of a coaster with something in between to separate them. So isn't that cool? Anchors away. Lift the anchor. Here's the anchor. So anyway, this worked out really well. I like how that looks. And then the ship mast is also from an organ. This isn't though. This is from some leg, a leg of something. And this was a wooden bowl. I just drilled a hole in it. And it went all the way through, goes clear up. So this was a little railing also of some shelf. I dismantled it and stuck it on here. And I really love this piece. This and the piece on the opposite side were one piece, and I sliced it down the middle so that I could have two. This came from an organ also, the ornate part of the organ. This down here that looks like water, I alternated these. They actually held spools. It was in a sewing box, and this is where you put the spools, and I just stuck them all together. This was a little shelf for just curio stuff, and I cut off this piece and I put it in there, and these represent barrels, if you don't know. Just letting you know if you don't. And then these are, no, what do those represent? Yeah, cannonballs.
Cannon.
And then rope, and these, I'll show you what all of these were. These represent food. What do they look like?
Oh, like cheese balls.
Yeah, good. Yeah, cheese. So, I have to show you. These were on here. I cut them off. This was a piece of, like a wooden spindle. And this was on here. This piece was on here, and this piece was on here. So it was one big long spindle, and I just cut it here and cut this off. Cut it here and cut this off. Cut it here, and anyway, I used all these pieces in this ship. So these for the barrels.
Right, that's cool.
Here's another barrel. It goes in there. This was a barrel. That's how it came. I found it at DI. And then I thought, oh, these look like cheese. So these represent just food that they would have in ships. And here's a table. And this table, I have been on a boat in the middle of the ocean. It was an awful, awful experience. The dining tables have a rim around it so that when the boat tips and tips and tips, your food won't slide off. And the boat does tip and tip and tip. And I think we sat on benches, so. And let's see.